Good evening, guys. Here, Thursday, tomorrow, Friday, last week of trading day of the week. Today, we haven't done this in a long time. It is shipping. I've had to spend a lot of time here on the SOXX to get that up and running, and I think that's going somewhat well now. It has been taking a lot of my time, obviously. So again, if you want to be a part of the community where we look into more detailed stock picks, gold, silver, uranium, shipping, oil, precious metals, platinum, all that good stuff, SOXX is the place to be, guys. Again, join me here, and hopefully we can ride this commodity bull market together. But anyways, shipping, a great sector, especially for the dividends. I think the dividends are great. So let's see here where we are in time. Where are we, guys? Where are we? Let's see. It's been, I think, 2 weeks, maybe even a bit more. So let's have a look-see here. Weekly time frames here. The BDRY, the Baltic Dry Index. I want to zoom out here quite a bit here just to show you that basically we are in an overall long-term golden squeeze there. Again, it has many years left until we eventually break out from it, in my view, heavily to the upside. But again, that's definitely not tomorrow. What's happening now is, in my view, again, we tagged the golden there. Then we went all the way back to the lows here. And then we, in my view, are going to get to the upper here at some point in time. That's what I think is happening. We are making higher highs and higher lows. Getting a bit iffy here, actually getting below the 30 weekly. So again, I think maybe short term here, we are in for some what's it called, bearishness. But again, long term, I still think we are in an uptrend. But I definitely want to see a bounce here quite soon, to be honest. But hey, let's look at the BDRY, the bulk shipping ETF. I want to point to the golden to the green trend line here, basically breaking up there, now retesting. If it holds here, that retest, we're going to roughly 20, which is the big bear market breakdown level from that peak there in 2021. Big breakdown, that's where we're going if it holds. If it fails, we are going down to roughly 10. That is the level that you're looking for. You can see we're getting a bounce here this week. So far, so good. Still in a heavy uptrend, so that's quite nice, to be honest. Let's dive into some of the individual stocks here. This is some long-term stuff, by the way. I want to do like that, make it blue so we can distinguish between them. SBLK within a massive parallel channel here, and usually you ping pong between the two. So again, there could be a scenario. I don't think right now that should be of your concern. But again, if we get to the lower side here, roughly at some point in time, if we get there, that would be a major buying opportunity, in my honest opinion. But for now, we're still looking good. The 30 weekly is coming up nicely. We actually had a massive topping pattern here, but again, we have broken the head, the shoulder trend line, breaking out, retesting, and now we're actually almost about to get above. You can see there that level at roughly 25, big level here. Basically, if we zoom in here a bit, somewhat of a bullish consolidation here. So for now, it's all looking good, especially if we get above 25, 26 here. In my view, we can actually have a spike all the way up to 50. Again, obviously with some resistance at the head high there at roughly 34. So again, overall looks good. And remember, these pays a good dividend along the way, 6% here. So they are great for if you have a dividend portfolio, having a few shipping companies, massive. CTRM, I have changed the chart a bit here, looking at it from a long-term perspective. Falling wedge, that is the only thing we're looking at right now. We don't want to try to play it cute in here anymore. That's just insanely difficult to do. So in my view, if we get a collapse here, that will be a buying opportunity for reasons. Again, if you have a falling wedge and you drop out from the bottom heavily here horizontally, usually that is a very good place to be a big contrarian. And that's often what you get right there. Or if we get the breakout from there, the golden, we are in for CTRM. Again, they pay a hefty dividend. No, it does not. I'm thinking of something else. Excuse me. GLPS, weird chart, by the way. But nonetheless, here we were, I think, one of the only ones talking about that squeeze there, and we popped a big time. Now it's doing something iffy here again with what's happening here. I'm not quite sure. Again, if we start to break up there, one actually, maybe we can go here. You can see we can maybe add a channel here just to, if I can find it. Where are you? Hello. Let's make a box instead. Who cares? There it is. Basically here, excuse me, breaking down from that box there, heavily bearish all of a sudden. That way we have a chance here. I think it looks a bit more bearish than bullish, to be honest, with that fake up there. But hey, let's see what happens. The reason I'm very bearish is if we start to, have a dump here, the 30 weekly will come quite strongly and turn around. So let's see what happens there. SB, a stock that we have bought right at that breakout there. It pays 4% dividend, so beautiful. Let's look at it here. We have the long-term golden trend line breakout into what I want to show you, a trend line coming here, the red one, resistance. You can see it there. We're basically getting a bit above there and coming down again here. So if we have a scenario where you do the retest of a massive breakout line there at roughly 4.2, again, 4.2, big number. It's a big buying opportunity in my view. The breakout, the retest, the resumption play, lovely. I will add heavily here if we get the retest, by the way. So let's see if that happens. D Nord here, actually quite a beautiful setup in my honest opinion. I really, really like it. I think they pay 3.5% all in dividends. That's quite nice also. Look at the green support here between 270 to 290. Big support. Let's zoom in. You can see we're basically bull flagging at the moment. This is one of the better setups that you can often see, bull flagging into massive support. This is very often a place where it resolves to the upside. Also, we have these pre-impulse lower lows right there. So again, a buy here with some sort of stop below the green support is one way to play it, or just wait for the breakout there. Looks incredibly good here, very bullish. Massive move up there, sideways action, well, bullish consolidation, beautiful, beautiful. ESEA. By the way, note that lovely entry there of that long-term golden trend line here. Beautiful, beautiful, stunningly good. So what's happening here? A bit of a messy chart for the past 2.5 years, but again, we have some horizontal levels that we're basically looking at right now here at roughly 38, big level. If we can get above there, we have more, not open skies, but that's a big bottoming pattern actually getting confirmed here. So also a stock here that looks very, very, very good. The downside is if we start to break down here and lose the 30 weekly and that horizontal at 31, you can see there all the way across. It has some merits to it over here. Not so much over here. We have that blip down there, but let's see there. That's what we're waiting for, getting above roughly, what is that? Roughly 40. That would be really, really good. But you have bullish consolidation here as well. So again, the odds favor a move further with the trend to the upside for ESEA. 7% dividend, by the way. 7%. GNK. Again, sometimes I have a lot of lines on, and in this case, I basically only have one with a support zone. And again, golden trend line. So basically a one-liner chart. I hope we tag it here, and then we do like that. Beautiful with that, pullback, and then we go. Are we breaking out here? Well, excuse me, guys. I'm not convinced just yet here. You can also see here we have a big level coming across there. So again, if we start to see a large green candle here, beautiful, beautiful. Again, very close to a big breakout there. 8% dividend, fantastic, fantastico. So this is actually roughly an 8-year long breakout that we're very close to do here. Very, very close. Google, GOGL, don't get confused. Messy chart down here, by the way. I think there are better opportunities with a lot more clearness. But again, I think we're going to, ever since we actually avoided that topping pattern there and went higher, I do think that we can actually go all the way up to that high there easily at roughly 17. But again, it is a bit more messy chart, so I like to have more clearance. DSX, again, underperforming here is not ideal. But again, look at that blue line there. At some point in time, I think it will break. Again, if we come for a full test here at that golden down here, roughly 2.2, you can see why it is so important. Then I think that will be a buying opportunity as well at 2.2. Again, that's not a momentum breakout play. Obviously, that's just, you know, buying at major support really, and hope it holds. Switching on to BOAT, that's the global shipping ETF. Again, here with some very green candles coming in there. We have this overall triangle. If and when that results to the upside, you know, the tankers sector is going to look incredibly strong here. We still haven't entirely closed the gap if you look at that candle. However, we have closed it over here. So let's see here again. If we start to break, I wouldn't mind this gap as much, to be honest. But let's see how it goes. It also pays a dividend, 13%. So that's a great way to play, you know, a broad basket of stocks, playing the BOAT ETF. When we break here at roughly, let's call it 32, 31, 32, 33-ish, that would be an amazing entry. And the first big resistance level is actually roughly at 38. I don't see these highs here at big resistances because they're basically coming, you know, one after another once we start to go. So I wouldn't mind those, to be honest. Maersk is also looking really good. Major Danish company, by the way. You go away. Actually, down here, if you want to get in, I'm not seeing this as the worst ever entry. The reason is massive green channel here, as you can see, major, basically ping-ponging, right? So if this is, you know, a ping-pong play, if you can say that, we can actually go all the way up to 40, and we are now at 10. The reason is that I am quite interested in it is we have this golden trend line here coming down. You can see we have a touch there, support over here, breakdown. And what's happening is we tagged roughly the green trend channel here, and also this red falling wedge. So there's a lot of things going on here. By the way, massive false breakout. We're coming down here tagging, and we're now back into, or above, excuse me, the golden here. Preferably, I want to see a close above that pivot low there at roughly 9,800. When we get a close there on a daily basis, maybe weekly, if you want to play it a bit more safe. In my view, good long entry there. It pays 6%. Again, with a stop at any moment we start to break down here and confirm below the green uptrend, the massive long-term green uptrend there. Then, in my view, you should exit. Again, that's just my opinion. But again, we have come down quite far, so I'm quite confident in this contrarian play here. We're down 60-70% within a big international freight company. This is TMP. I want to show you. It's actually a quite strong setup here. Again, with the golden trend line there, break over here. Massive inverted head and shoulders. We're basically above 34 right now, which is the neckline roughly, and we are within this green uptrend here. So if you have a position, in my view, in this stock here, TNP, you hold, you don't do anything. It's just an amazing play here with only, in quotes, 2.5% dividends, fine, but overall strong uptrend above major support now, big top bottoming pattern coming in there, and they should and could go way higher, in my opinion, here if this starts to have legs to it. Downsides, if and when we break the green uptrend, you should have caution. That's definitely a big break. If we get that green trend line break there, then yeah, just a bit of a warning there. TORM, Again, I only have it's a very weird chart. Not weird, but again, it's very, you don't have much to go with in my view. You have the highs there from March 2023 again there, and now we're charging up again here. So you could argue a tiny cup and handle play here. So when and if we break roughly 258, it should have a projected move all the way up to 400 and let's call it 35 from that cup and handle play. So it is quite strong here. It is charging up. Downside is if we, for some reason, crack down below the red line there, major exit point, at least the way I see it. So INSW, I haven't charted this because basically I'm very much in doubt what's happening. And as you know, when in doubt, it is a no. There is something you could draw here, but again, I have a lot more clear pictures on some of the other stocks, so I will not do anything here until I get some sort of a clear view. But that is clearly not the case now. Clearly, DHT. Look at it here, 8.8, massive ceiling, now support, by the way. Also, we have a very broad bottoming pattern going back 10 years, and basically we're about to break here. If you have a position, fantastic. You hold it, 9% dividend, beautiful. If you don't have, again, you could play a break above roughly 12.20 here. Within this green uptrend, that is, the last, previous resistance. And then we're coming into a zone over here with very little volume. So that could be a quick move if we get to there. So again, note the green uptrend there, beautiful. 30 weekly is coming up nicely. So if we break there, there's really nothing to be bearish about. Even now it looks really good, but again, you shouldn't be buying here in my view. Just wait for that tiny break there on a daily basis or a 2-day basis, and you should be fine. You really should be. TNK, massive broadening structure here, very well defined in my view. You can see it there, just ping-ponging within a broadening structure. Breakout, testing, pullback, retest, resumption. So what are we waiting for here? I'm just going to move all the dots there. In my view, if you have a position, fine, totally, just hold it. Dividends, nothing much there. But we basically we are at big resistance. So again here, 63 to 67-ish is a big resistance level. All this over here, that major high there, and now we're basically back again here. So actually, if I were to, maybe I want to change my statement if you have a position here. Actually, right here, right now, taking profit is not the worst idea. Again, you can always re-enter once you get above there. But again, to protect yourself, maybe, if you have bought way down here, that could be a way to go. Yeah, I think that I would change my statement to say that actually taking profit here at this major resistance from a technical point of view is not the worst thing in the world. You can always re-enter when and if we, let's say we start to go sideways for a bit here, and then we break up there, you can always re-enter really. Now we're switching over to a bit of a misc here. STNG, Scorpion Tankers, has been on a massive run really, just completely ripping it. Basically, you basically only had one pullback into that pivot high there at 40. Otherwise, it has just been a one-way street really. You haven't had many entries. The only entry really from a pattern perspective is that blue break right there at roughly 20. So now we are coming into resistance here at roughly 80, a bit below. And yeah, again, we are also above some major support and resistance zone here at roughly 65. So again, let's see what happens here. The most ideal thing here is basically if we could coil here just to go sideways for a bit, and then we go up, major buying opportunity at that point in time for Scorpio Tankers. Nat here, weird chart again. In one line, I have a golden trend on there. That's all I'm caring about. All this stuff, as you know, I have no idea what's going on, so I will not spend much time on it, to be honest. Front line keeps grinding the green uptrend here. Look at it, so well defined, so beautiful. Big resistance, as you know, at roughly 26. And yeah, let's see how it reacts when we get up there. For now, it's really strong. Pitfalls or, you know, potential downsides. If we lose that lower green trend line there, then again, I think we could potentially go all the way down to 13, which being that high over there, you can see the pivot low over there. So that could be I think the max move again, but that is just major support. Do we go all the way down here upon a break? Not necessarily, obviously, but that is the maximum downside. I don't think it will happen, to be honest. But hey, let's see. Sim here, Simsalabim. Let's go to the daily. We have a potential, a very skewed, non-textbook inverted head and shoulders play here in the making. And we have broken the blue channel down here. Breakout, retest, resumption. So again, buying here is not the worst thing in the world, to be honest. We haven't made a higher high or a higher low yet, so maybe wait for that, because this stock is very, it's not as precise and as the others here. So let's see here. But again, this is definitely a good start to finally hopefully resume to the upside. They pay a hefty dividend, by the way. I don't know how they can pay 63%. I've heard something about the dividend death or spiral. I don't know if that is the case, but let's see here. Now we're going on to LNG, so that is liquefied natural gas tankers. Overall, my view is bearish. But let's go through them, by the way, very quickly here. I think this is a massive blow off top in this stock. By the way, the run has been insane. You are up roughly 1,000%. Blow off top here, coming down. I think we're bear flagging, and I think we could actually roll over pretty hefty here in this stock. So there's nothing for me at all in this stock here. I'm not even looking at it because I don't see any value right now. It has been a 10x stock that I didn't participate in. It is what it is, but now I'm not going to chase anything. Cool company here. This is oil and gas pipelines, I can see, but okay, fair enough. A break up from that golden channel there is very bullish, by the way. Again, also, if we lose roughly $11, you can see the pivot low there over here, and now we're grinding it. Getting below there, very bearish. So we are coming in a moment in time here, very important for this stock here. So getting above, if I were to give a level, 11.5, very good. Getting below roughly 10.9, 10.8, very bearish. NFE, New Fortress Energy, looking very grim here. If this is a real breakdown from this lower green support, you can see we're actually breaking down right now. And until and if and when we get back above there, it's only bearish in my view. There's nothing to it really. Again, I'm not interested in this at all by any means, due to the fact that we are breaking a 2-year long trend line here. The last fortress, you can say, we're breaking down here. So gas, I want to go out to the daily here. It's actually one of the better lookings, but I just want to point out that we have come really far here with a massive move. So if I were to get interested, I want to see us consolidate here for a long time, for like a year. And then we can potentially break out. But you can see we have the parallels. They are very much connected with a splitter in the middle. So now here, I'm not interested in it at all. Potentially, as mentioned, in 6 months' time, if it stays here, I will be very interested in it upon a break there. So NVGS, it's not often you see these kind of charts, by the way. They're very weird. Blue wedge here. Let's see how it plays out, really. We had a bit of a fake out here. That's not ideal. A break below there, as you know, means that we are probably going for a big collapse here. You could argue for a tiny bullish consolidation here. So again, you can only guess which way it's going, to be honest. BWLLF. I think I need to go to the Heikin-Ashi to get some visuals here. Yeah, you can see the major support, $9. Major uptrend here, which is very important to hold. This golden here, let's move it in so we align a little bit better than we do like that. So roughly something like that. That needs to hold, but also note that we're actually potentially doing a topping pattern there with that head and shoulders. If it breaks, we're looking at a move down to here, roughly 6. So yeah, bit of a caution here in my view. Again, I think the big entry was there, and then you would probably sell that all-time high there, even though we came like 10-20% above. But again, weird chart. Again, not my bread and butter, chart. But hey, same thing here with chart into major resistance, a 8-year-long golden trend line there, actually peaking above the blue wedge. Let's go back. If we tag it here and we start to come down through the apex, game over. That's almost a guarantee. That there's no guarantees in trading and charting, but that is, I've seen it so many times. If you have a rising wedge, I wanna make it here. If you have a rising wedge, let's say, now that's a bad example. Let's make it a bit steeper. Now, if you have a rising wedge like that, obviously you are coming in here, you're ping-ponging and you break up, and then you come down again. Game over. Then you're going in for a big move down, typically at least down to the bottom of that. So that is a long freaking way to go, right? So let's see how it plays out. Definitely a big moment in time here for the stock. ET, go home, phone home. My bad. I guess it's only the older audience that knows about that one, that reference, by the way. So shipping, guys, it's been like 3 weeks since we've done it. Again, if you want to have more stocks picks, again, shipping and all this will, within 2 weeks time, go over to the Substack and only be there. So again, if you want to come join Substack, that's the place. And we are definitely all over gold and silver and uranium, because I think they're about to do something amazing things here. So yeah, we have been buying heavily the past, not this week, it's been pretty dull, by the way, but the week before and 2 weeks before, it was a busy week buying massive, big breakouts in the silver space, in the gold space. So beautiful, very, very beautiful, but hectic. Guys, shipping, that's it. Cheers.